Okay, welcome back. We're going to do some putting practice here because we're not going to be able to qualify for the Mid-Am if we can't putt. So as you can see, I've got this putting thing set up. So this is good for helping with path. There's some settings here to make it less difficult, more difficult. You can make this harder, easier for where the ball kind of rolls through. So I'm glad I'm doing this because, to be honest, when I'm not hitting balls, I probably wouldn't practice putting. So I'm glad I'm practicing here. This is good that I'm documenting this because it's kind of holding myself accountable to actually getting better and actually getting after my goals. So I got a level here too. I hit some putts. Get in frame here. So I hit some putts on my floor here, and I noticed that it was going this way or the other. So I'm going to use this, just get a sense of what each of these putts are going to do. I did measure it before I started recording, but I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here. So on these little 3-footers, the bubble is kind of hedging that way, which means this side is a little higher up. So these short putts are going to be breaking right to left. For the 5-footers, it's the same there. It's about middle. And then here, the bubble is on this side, which means this side is a little higher. So these 5-footers are going to kind of start going right and then start going left at the end. And this is actually quite a bit of break. And then it evens out. So it's almost like there's like a funnel here, right in the middle. So this long putt is actually pretty straight. There's some of that tilt on the right side. So yeah, these long putts, basically anything on the middle, this long 8-footer and then the short 3-footer are going to tend to break right to left, and then these 5-footers are going to tend to break left to right. Let me just double check here. Yeah, right at the end. So I've got it set up on the 5-footer, so let me try that first. This is about as wide as I can get it. So yeah, like, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes of putting practice. So I got this thing set up fairly easy. Bang. Hit the left one right off the bat. So I tend to pull my putts. So that is why we're working with something that gives me feedback. Just hit that way too hard. There we go. That was a good putt. Another good one. Another good one. Starting to get into a rhythm here. Actually, it was nice too. I watched a little bit of the video that I posted yesterday, and I actually saw some good things in my swing, which was really good. Obviously, we're here for putting practice, so we need to focus on that. But yeah, it was nice seeing a different angle. I really liked what I said about not worrying in practice about necessarily where the ball is going. Obviously, you want to hit it in the direction you want to hit it, or you're trying to hit it in. But I'm just working on not beating myself up, trying to build that confidence. So anyways, that's just an aside, but let's get back to this. And let me see if I can get the hole there. I'm just going to do a few of these. So again, nothing is sponsored, but these putting mats, I believe this one rolls at about a 10.5. So you've got 3 cups. You have the good zone behind it, which looks to be about a foot behind it, and then a bad zone in front, which is about a foot in front. So the goal is to get it to the cup or in the good zone. That way you're not leaving putts short. So let's see if I can make some putts under pressure now that everybody's watching. So that was just a little too much pace. Bang the putting thing there. Again, I have not really practiced a ton of putting. I'm going to be honest. I think most of my putting practice happens, if I'm practicing in an outdoor range that has a putting green, or spending 10 to 15 minutes before a round. So this is really good that I'm dedicating some time to actually, trying to develop a nice repeatable putting stroke. Those are some good ones. So the other thing I was going to mention is, right now, because this is so new, and I'll tilt the camera up, talk to it. So because this is so new, right now I'm focused on filming the practice sessions, and I do not have the setup or capability to be filming during my golf rounds. So we'd love some feedback on that. Depending on how things go with this YouTube channel, maybe we start documenting some real live rounds. But I think in the meantime, during practice, just try to simulate some competitive sessions. So anyways, just want to throw that out there. Let's get back to putting because I need to practice. So let's say all 6 of these need to be at least to the hole or in the good zone, but not further. So there's one. There's 2. There's 3. Pressure starting to build. Oh, I hit the thing on the end. I don't even know what you call that. The dial? Well, I got it there, so I'm counting that as a win. All right, last one. All the pressure here to win the mid-am. Got to get it in the hole. Oh, we did it. All right, let's move to 8-footers here. So if I remember how everything breaks here, get this lined up here. Oh, that's nice. I like this thing. I've hardly used it. But at least where I had this placed on the mat here, it is a bit of a funnel, but we are hitting straight putts, so everything's not funneling to the hole necessarily. Like for this putt, I'm gonna have to probably play this a little bit, just ever so slightly out to the right. So just right of where all the alignment aids are. Wow, that broke quite a bit. I don't know if you can see that. We're gonna tilt this down. Oh, wow. I need some room here. Try that. That's as wide as I can make this camera. Maybe I can pull this back a little. Maybe that'll help. Oh man, it's just out of frame. I'll play around with it. Man, a lot of right to left. All right, let's try that. Oh my God. This is what I need to practice. Just not good. Although I read something, one of these like mental game golf books, and you got to kind of trick yourself into believing you're the best putter on the planet. You can make anything. Try again. Hitting the right one, so it looks like I'm pushing it a little bit. Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's like 6 inches of break there. So let me point this even more out to the right and see what happens. So I'm just trying to get, you can't even see my putting stance, but I like to try and get my eyes directly over the ball. It's definitely more the line. There we go. That's a good putt. Much better. Good. That one was in. Right in the center. That one too. Nice. All right, let's do some 3-footers. That way you can see me in the frame, and we can turn this into a competition as well, like the 5-footers. So this one breaks right to left as well. We get this lined up here. And push it, let's say there. Blasted it through the good zone, but that's the right line. So you can see the lower half. I try and, so the way my arms hang, right? I think I was talking about grip earlier or yesterday. My hands sort of want to try and, they're not facing completely behind me, but they are sort of facing in between my thigh and behind me. So with my putting grip, I try to, I've tried all different types of putting grips, but what I'm trying now is sort of opening my hands up and try and reduce any hand manipulation. And then that way I can just kind of rock my shoulders. But I don't like the feeling of, you know, there's some drills sometimes where you can stick a towel underneath your armpits and then make a putting stroke. But if I do that, I get too rigid and then I end up kind of yipping it. So I like to feel like my arms are hanging, but my hands are quiet. So that's what we're trying. We're playing Saturday. We're gonna give it a try. But these 3-footers, are like, when I'm playing recreationally, I try and take them seriously. But then if you're playing in a tournament, obviously there's no gimmies. And the really, really good golfers, the pros, the good amateurs, they make these automatic. So that's the goal. Also tempo. I read something about, you know, I think it was 72 beats per minute or 76 beats per minute is like the back and through. So if you were to turn on a metronome, was trying that a few months ago, kind of stopped thinking about that. Right now I'm just trying to focus on soft arms, just letting him swing. Good grip. Oh boy, push that. But I'm really trying to keep it simple. Even though I'm working on a lot of different things, I'm really, really trying my best to keep it as simple as possible. And keep telling myself that, because otherwise I go to the golf course, I've got a million things in my head. Almost impossible to have any chance of playing good golf if you're thinking about too much. So, all right, let's do a little competition here. See how long we've been going? 20 minutes. All right, so let's try and make 10 3-footers in a row. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. I think the cups are a little smaller on here too. There's five. There's six. All right, we got four more. You gotta go 4 for 4. I'm actually excited to watch a little bit of this back and see how my tempo looks. Seven. Eight. Nine. This one's for all the marbles. 10. Nice. Great job, Joe. Excellent work. Let's see if we can make it 20. $11. $12. Just outside of the good zone, but right in the middle of the cup, so I'm counting that. $13. $14. $15. This is great. This is great practice. Not just because I'm making them. I lost count. Is that 15 or 16? I think that was, or 14. I don't know. Well, we did that 3 times 6, so I'm assuming that's 18. Let's make 3 more, just for good measure. And then we definitely will not miss a 3-footer throughout the round. Like a lot of my buddies will just give these putts, but I think you got to putt them. I really do. That was good. Good pressure simulation. Let's move back to the 5-footers. I think that's a really good distance to practice. Just because this range, it's obviously not a gimme. You know, if you have this for a par, you'd like to be as confident over it as possible. You want to be confident over every putt, but you know, this 5-footer, if it's for birdie, you know, and you're this close, you feel like you should make this a lot. And I don't know what the stats are, like on the PGA Tour, but it's certainly not 100% or 95, I don't think. Oh! Okay. Get a feel for the speed. That was just in the hole. I think I gotta move this a little bit more to the left. Try that. Yeah, feel free to fact check me on any of these things. I don't really know the stats of the tour guys and you know how many they make from a certain distance. I just know I can be better for sure. You get 2 or 3 of these to drop. Oh God. Bad zone, bad Joe. Bad Joe in the bad zone. But you get 2 or 3 of these to drop. I mean, that's 2 or 3 strokes. And it's simple, but you know, even if I didn't practice my full swing and I just practiced putting, you know, I could drop 3 strokes on my handicap just from putting, which I got down to a 4 something earlier this year. And, you know, that puts me at a 1 all of a sudden. That was a good stroke. But again, there is quite a bit of break. So I'm going to move that even further. Also, I got these new balls with the alignment on it. Is it going to focus? There we go. I don't know. I like using these left dashes, but I saw they had this alignment on them. And I was like, I gotta have that. Oh, that's the line. That's the line, we know that. So let's see, I can't get behind it to line it up, but this will have to do. Let's see if we can make 6 in a row, 5-footers. That was in. All right, just 5 more like that. Banged it, but that was in. Also, funny story, maybe not funny, but I was playing in some 2-man best ball scramble earlier this year and had a putt for birdie on the 18th hole. And I sort of had like an out-of-body experience. It was like the weirdest thing. I was standing over a putt. It was like a hot day. And in my head, I was just like, I can't believe I'm golfing. It's so, like it was fun. Like I was happy. But I just sort of had an out-of-body experience. I was like, I can't believe I get to do this. It's very interesting. I would like to explore that more because I think the more you get into competitive golf, the more of a mental game it becomes. So obviously I don't have a mental coach, but I do have Claude. See what Claude or Gemini has to say about it. All right, so that's 4 in a row. That's 5 in a row. We're feeling good. Oh yeah, baby. Let's see where we're at time-wise. 31 minutes. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is pause there. This is great putting practice. Like I said, the only time I practice putting is if I'm hitting balls at a range that has a putting green or before my round. So just getting like 25 minutes of putting in. This is incredible. I'm glad I'm doing this channel. Hopefully you guys stick around, enjoy the journey, and I'll see you all in the next one.